Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Best Day Ever podcast. This is a podcast about all things crafty and a glimpse into my crafting journey, but it is also where we celebrate with you why every day spent crafting makes for the best day ever. My name is Trisha, and I'm your host. I can be found on Instagram and Ravelry as Tie-Dye Diva. And let's see, show notes can be found in the description box for each episode. We also have a small but growing Ravelry group. This is a bit of a deviation from usual episodes in which I talk about finished objects and works in progress. I just got back from Maryland Sheep and Wool 2018, and as usual, it did not disappoint. So I thought it would be fun for me to come on and record and share with you some of the things that I really enjoyed about Maryland Sheep and Wool. So we have arrived at Maryland Sheep and Wool, and this is what it looks like as you're entering in. Lots of folks are still streaming in. Excitement is building. Everything you want to say, Ralph?
No, just enjoy a beautiful day out.
And I do have some notes. I have a lot of things to share in a little bit of time. Maryland Sheep and Wool is held in Howard County in the state of Maryland, it's held at the Howard County Fairgrounds in West Friendship, Maryland. This year it was held on May 5th and 6th, Saturday and Sunday. The entry fee was $5, and I believe this is the second year that they started to charge a fee. In previous years it was absolutely free. Last year, I couldn't tell much of a difference of any added things that they added to the festival to accommodate the fee. But this year, it seems like I noticed several differences. One, there was a lot more seating, a lot more benches in different areas, especially around the food areas. And what was the other difference? A lot more food vendors. And but you know, even if they didn't add any extra amenities because of the charge, the $5 charge is absolutely worth it, because like I said, the festival never ever disappoints. So there's Maryland Sheep and Wool, which, as I stated, was held on the 5th and the 6th. But then there are all of these other fiber events that are also being held either the day before Sheep and Wool or actually during Sheep and Wool. Some of them are hosted by yarn stores, local yarn stores, and others are hosted by makers. And one example of that was the Needles Up event, which was held on the eve of Maryland Sheep and Wool, which would have been Friday, May 4th is when the Needles Up event was held. It was also held in Columbia, which is not far from Maryland Sheep and Wool. And there, Needles Up, they gather several makers, several podcasters, but all of them have some type of online presence with regard to either selling yarn or fiber or bags. So let me just share with you who some of those folks were. First of all, Legacy Fiber Arts. I'm sure you've heard of them. They are also the host of a podcast called Legacy Fiber Arts. They're a mother and daughter team, Chelsea and Sue. Chelsea is the daughter, Sue is the mom. And on the Needles Up website, it says that they are part of 4 generations of women crafters, hence the name Legacy Fiber Arts. So I did not get a chance to talk to Sue. She was quite busy. Her booth was quite busy and quite busy graciously talking to other shoppers. But this is what I picked up from Sue's booth, Legacy Fiber Arts. Yep, this camera's picking this up pretty good. So this is a DK. It's a 245 yards, 75-25 blend of superwash merino and nylon. And I picked this up because I knew on my shopping list I wanted to get a couple of skeins to make Ricky hats. So this is the skein I chose from Legacy Fiber Arts, and this is my very first Legacy Fiber Arts skein. And just in case the colors aren't showing up for you, we've got some hot pinks and some oranges, of course, some deep purples, some lighter pinks, and some peach. And the colorway is We Think You're Peachy Keen. So looking forward to knitting up a Ricky hat with this, either for myself or as a gift. Next up at Needles Up was Fiber Nymph Dye Works. The proprietor of Fiber Nymph Dye Works, her name is Lisa, and she is from a mountainous area of Pennsylvania. I cannot think of the actual region in which she lives, but she definitely lives in the hills of Pennsylvania, and she specializes in hand-dyed self-striping yarn. And this is one of the skeins that I picked up from Lisa of Fiber Nymph Dye Works. Of course, we all love our self-striping yarn. I have been trying to work on not so much the brightly colored stripers that are more common, but some of the more muted tones that are lacking in my stash. So this is a 3-color striper, I believe. We've got some browns, some lighter browns, and the white is actually speckles, as if you can see that. And the colorway is Cake Pop. And this is actually a sport weight striper, 80-20. 80 merino, 20% nylon. So they should knit up pretty quickly. That is so pretty. So that's what I picked up from Fiber Nymph Dye Works. And I also picked up another striper. This is a DK gradient striper. And I don't know whether you can see the sparkle. So this is on her beguiled base, which is a 75-25, which is superwash merino, nylon, and stellina. 231 yards of a DK weight, and the color is autumn rustic. So again, it is a beautiful striping, not necessarily a gradient, but a really pretty striping, and I couldn't resist it. And it also comes with a pattern that Lisa designed. Comes with a pattern for a Ravelry download for this pattern, and I'm going to attempt to pronounce it. Tekusucha. I think that's correct. Tekusucha by Lisa Beamer. I thought it would be fun to pick this up as a podcast giveaway in a coming month. I just couldn't leave it there. It was so pretty. So you'll probably be seeing this another time. Let's see. Also at Needles Up was the Classy Squid Fiber Company. She specializes in beautifully hand-dyed fiber for you spinners. I didn't pick anything up from the Classy Squid, but she had some beautiful, beautiful pieces there. And then there was Amy Beth, who is the host of the Fat Squirrel Speaks video podcast. Love Amy Beth. She was just so warm, and I was able to get the best hug from her. And we chatted a little bit about sewing. If you look at her recent episodes, she talked about how she did some major adjustments to a pattern for a dress. She went up several sizes on a pattern that only went to a certain size, and she was wearing that dress. And to just see her beaming and to see the pride in her making was just really, really nice. So I'm glad I got to see the dress in person. Glad I got to see her in person and chat with her for a little bit. And somehow I mustered the willpower to resist her beautiful bags, but she had some gorgeous ones there. And I'm going to try to insert some video or pictures here.
And so I just post pictures.
Then there was Tuft Woolens. Martha is the proprietor of Tuft Woolens. She and her husband did not get her husband's name, but Martha makes handcrafted sock soaps. They're all natural, and I talk about her quite often on the podcast. And the scent that I decided to pick up for myself is the chai spice. It doesn't say exactly which scent is on here, but if you purchase on her website, it tells you exactly what the notes are. But this definitely has some cinnamon. It smells creamy, just like a sweet cup of chai spice tea. Very, very nice. So I'm looking forward to using this for washing my, not washing, for blocking and soaking my hand knits. And I also picked up a little sock, cedarwood sock plank to hold my Tuft Woolen soap on. Always wanted one of these. And because I purchased several soaps, I was able to get this cute little project bag. It's a nice heavyweight linen, so this would definitely work for a pair of socks, as well as a tube of lip balm. So she has soaps, lip balms, hand balms, and I think her newest product is the roll-on scents, which complement the soaps. And not just soak wash for your hand knits, but also bath bars. So definitely check out Martha of tyedyedivacrafts.com. One of my absolutely favorites. Finally, Sucra Miniatures was another vendor at Needles Up, and Sucra specializes in hand sculpted progress keepers and stitch markers. And these are the two Sucra miniatures I could not resist. This is a watermelon martini. How adorable is that? Right there at the top is a hand sculpted slice of watermelon. So cute. And the texture on this, it's got a little sparkle. It's just so amazing. I don't know how she does it, but yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good picture right there. So looking forward to using those. And then I also got this one here. Let's see. Yep, that's, oh, there we go. This is a cup of tea. There's a lemon slice and 2 sugar cubes. I know, look, isn't that just too adorable? If my niece sees this, she's going to be fighting me for it. Maybe I have to order her one. She's a big tea drinker. So these are the two from Sucra Miniatures, and she can also be found, I believe, at sucraminiatures.com on the internet, as well as on Instagram. So my impressions of Needles Up, it exceeded my expectations. It was in a very comfortable venue. There was plenty of lighting. There was loads of space to shop, loads of space to network and meet people. And I'm going to try to insert a few pictures here. It was cool. The air conditioning was cranking, which was great because it was a really, really warm day. I think the temperature got well over the 80s outside that day. And I was wearing, as knitters do, I had to wear a hand knit sweater. So it was nice to have my hand knit sweater on and to be comfortable in the venue. So yeah, if they do it again next year, will I go? Probably so. Very, very nice, very well put together. And even though there was a VIP event in which they charged for, I believe, an hour before the actual doors opened, which was 2 p.m. I waited in line maybe for 30 minutes. I think I got there at 1:30. And you know what we knitters do? We just sit or either stand and pull out our knitting. We knitted and chatted and got to chat with a few other knitters and meet a few other knitters who actually didn't live too far from me. And I also got to chit chat for a little bit with Christy Glass, and I'm kicking myself for not getting a picture with her. But that was nice. So absolutely highly recommend the Needles Up event. After leaving Needles Up, my husband and I, aka best yarn husband in the world, who supports me on this crazy crafting journey, and I'm so appreciative of him for that, we decided to have some dinner, an early dinner, at Victoria's Gastropub, which is also in Columbia, Maryland. It was good. It was really, really good. We had French fries tossed in duck fat and truffle sea salt, as if fried French fries weren't enough. Yeah, tossed in duck fat and truffle sea salt with a roasted garlic aioli dipping sauce. So Victoria's Gastropub, next year, if they are still there, highly, highly recommend that as a dinner spot in Columbia, Maryland. Well, let's move on into the actual festival, Maryland Sheep and Wool 2018. And I'll be inserting pictures here and there throughout this video recording, so you can get a sense of just the whole vibe of what it's like to be at such an impressive fiber festival. I didn't have a long shopping list for the festival this year. Not to say that I didn't, that what I bought was not a long list, but that's a whole nother show, as Oprah says. So I did have on my list a Madderroot project bag. Madderroot is out of the state of Maine, and Madderroot specializes in hand-printed project bags, t-shirts, and what I didn't realize, also some home things. So on their website, they have some napkins, and what else did I see? But just beautiful things that are hand-printed. And so this is what I chose from the Madderroot booth. This is their very popular trundle bag, and I chose the mini trundle in, of course, orange. And this is not a separate piece of fabric. This is actually hand printed fabric with a beautiful heavy, it's not a canvas, it's I guess it looks like linen, but it's a very high quality linen. There are no zippers, there are no snaps, and there's no Velcro to get snagged onto your knitting. And you can also use it as a not just as a bag, but also as a bowl once your yarn gets in and fills it up. This would be perfect for socks or a 1 or 2 skein shawl. And I love this little snap closure here. So that's the mini trundle bag from Madderroot. After leaving, Madderroot can be found online as madderroot.com or Madderroot Main on Instagram. Next up, I was walking along and found a new to me booth, which was called the Heirlooms. What caught my eye when I went to this booth was they had these sweaters and shawls, just a ton of them that were already knit up, many of them containing mohair or either 100% mohair sweaters. So they were just so lofty and so beautiful in some amazing vibrant colors. So that's what drew me to the booth. And then I went into the booth, and what kept me there was just the beauty of their hand-dyed yarns in my colors, the golds and the reds and the deep blues and greens. And what kept me there even longer was the price point. Very impressive price point on a lot of their things. So let me show you what I got from them. Again, this is the Heirlooms booth. Have shared on a podcast episode, probably my first episode, how much I love mohair and what it does to elevate a project. So I decided on these 6 skeins of mohair silk. And the colorway is the color is amber. 6 skeins, which I believe is 1,650 yards. So this is more than enough to do a sweater. If I wanted to do 100% mohair silk sweater, which would be glorious in this color, or I could actually hold it with a fingering weight to create a DK weight sweater. But in any event, these were $10 each. That is incredible. That is absolutely an incredible price point. So $60 for a hand knit sweater is not bad at all. So I'm really excited about those. The Heirloom folks can be found if you would like to purchase their items that are already made up. It's Scandinavia weaveandknit.com. And if you're interested in their hand dyed yarns like I purchased, you can find them at yarnhygge.com, which is yarn hygge.com, and I will link to all of these. Let me get a sip of tea. This is the peak of allergy season in the Washington DC area, so I'm constantly drinking water and tea to keep the pollen out of my nose and throat. This is a new to me tea brand. It was gifted to me, Puka, and this is the detox flavor. It's got some aniseed, some sweet fennel, cardamom, and licorice root. Oh, coriander and celery seed. It's really good. Normally I don't go for really spicy things, but I picked that because I know I need a detox, especially after those French fries, and you know how it is when you're off your usual routine and you're eating any and everything. So a detox is definitely in order. Okay, let's see what else. So then after leaving there, I walked towards the main barn, and that's where all of the well-known makers are. Signature Needles was there. I was looking for Jenny the Potter, but Jenny the Potter was not there this year. I'm not sure why, but so that was kind of disappointing. But there were many other makers there, some familiar, some new. I made my way to the Bare Naked Wools booth. Bare Naked Wool specializes in naturally dye-free, locally sourced, eco-friendly yarns. So let me share with you what I got from Bare Naked. What drew me to her booth, besides the fact that I've always wanted to get her yarns, is that she has some of the most amazing samples of knitted garments. And there was a beautiful skirt that she had hanging on a mannequin. So that's what drew me in there. I wanted to know what the yarn was. I wanted to price out how much it would be to knit it in my size. Well, that proved to be a bit price prohibitive for me. Not that it's not absolutely worth it, but it's a considered purchase, so I had to really think about that. So I got to looking around. I did, however, purchase this skirt pattern, and I don't think I have it with me. So what I would do is I would try to insert a picture of the skirt here. It's basically an A-line skirt, and it was in a wool and linen blend, I believe. I think I could really, I could work with that. I could work with that skirt. I could work with that blend of yarn. So I have the pattern, and I may have some yarn in my stash that will actually work for it. Maria of the Ninja Chickens podcast is hosting a Knit Your Bottoms knit along, which sounds like a lot of fun. I don't know if I'll have time to join in, but I thought I'd put that in there in case some of you are interested. So anyway, this is the skein I chose from Bare Naked Wools. I have the window open today because it's such a beautiful day. Oh, there, okay, so there it is. I need to just get rid of some of that sun. So this base is called, okay, it is called the Kabaku base. It is a 2-ply lace weight. Kabaku Brilliant Lace is the name of the blend. And it is 1,000 yards, 4 ounces. And the blend is mohair, again, one of my favorites, Coopworth, and unbleached tussa silk. So the mohair and the wool, actually all of these are fibers that can give a project a lot of stability. So I've got some options with this. I can hold this with another fingering to create a beautiful fabric. What drew me to this skein is that I overheard Anne, who was the owner of Bare Naked Wools, I overheard her telling someone who was in the booth that you can actually get 2 shawls out of one skein, because that's a lot of yardage. 2 shawls or 2 scarves easily. So we'll see what this becomes, but I don't have anything like this in my stash, so I thought that would be really, really nice to have. Moving on down to the lower corral, and there were so many things to see in between there, including the sangria booth, which was one of the new food. I don't remember seeing the sangria booth there. I'm gonna try to insert a picture here. I believe their logo was sangria, love, happiness, something like that. And they were giving away, if you got a sample of the sangria, or if you actually bought a 16-ounce cup, they were giving away these cute little stickers that said, "I am pretty." And I took my husband's. He didn't want his on him, so I said he didn't want to play along. So I took it and I put it on his back. And he didn't know. And there was a lady that came up to him while we were in the main barn and said, she tapped him on the back and said, "You know, you are pretty." And he's like, "What?" Because he didn't know the sticker was on there. So that was fun. We got a good chuckle out of that. Again, best yarn husband ever. But anyway, moving on to Bumblebee Acres, which was in the lower corral. And this is what I picked up from Bumblebee Acres. This caught my eye because I thought it was so pretty, and I thought that it would also make a beautiful Ricky hat. This is a new to me dyer. It is their Squishy DK. It is also a 75-25% merino nylon blend, 246 yards, and the color is Yarny Carney. Fun name and beautiful skein. So again, that's from Bumblebee Acres Fiber Farm. They can be found at bumblebeeacres.com and on all forms of social media. They've got a great little tag there. But if this is not coming out good, I would definitely link to it in the show notes. Okay. Finally, the thing I want to share with you is what I picked up from Schweitzer's Fiber Mill. Schweitzer's Fiber Mill, LLC. And let me see if I can get this card to, yeah, cute card. Schweitzer's Fiber Mill is in Seven Valleys, Pennsylvania. What drew me to their booth was their beautiful colors. And me and Arthella, who was Eris Knits on Ravelry, we were there together just looking around. And this skein actually caught Arthella's eye first. She was like, "Ooh, that's pretty. Look at that." And I definitely agree with that. It says it's a 110 yards of merino, but it doesn't say what the base is, but I really do believe that this is a bulky weight. So Arthella had to leave the booth to take a personal phone call, and while she was away, I thought it would be fun if I picked up a skein of each one of these for us. So the plan is to make matching hats, Arthella. Is that the plan? That would be cool. So I'll go up to the register to pay for these yarns. Again, a great price point. This was only 12 bucks, $12. So I know a lot of people kind of shy away from fiber festivals because they don't want to overspend, or maybe the budget is an issue, and I certainly can understand and identify with that. But there are some deals and steals to be had, and this was certainly one of them. Sometimes you'll find closeout yarns, some colors that maybe haven't sold but are just absolutely beautiful. So again, this was one of those skeins, and I purchased yarn this weekend from $2 a skein to maybe $39 a skein, depending on what the base is. So again, there is shopping for all price points. Okay, so I get up to the register to pay for these two skeins, and this cute little girl comes up to me and she says, "Oh, thank you for purchasing. My name is Lily, and I dyed that skein." And I was like, "You dyed this skein?" She was like, "Yes. Would you like a bag?" I said, "Yes, Lily, I'd like a bag." "Great. Would you like a business card?" "Yes, Lily, I'd like a business card." And my mind is still blown. Lily looks like she could be maybe 10 years old. And her dad's operating the register like it's just another day on the farm. Super cute, super adorable, super talented. And so I asked her if I could take a picture with her, and I'm going to try to insert this picture here. But again, definitely one of my best day ever moments at the festival was running into Lily's yarns at from Schweitzer's Family Mill. And Lily has her own website, and it is www.schweitzerfibermill.com. How sweet. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to try to insert a few pictures of what is always a highlight of Maryland sheep and wool, and that is the animals. I didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time in the barns with the animals. Usually when I do that, I come out with some serious allergy issues. I don't know if it's just the animals or just the I don't know what it is, but I decided to just spend just a little bit of time, but I couldn't resist. I had to go in there and get a couple of pictures. Highlight was going to the podcaster meetup. I had intended to go, not necessarily because I thought anybody would know me, but I wanted to see if I knew some podcasters, some of my favorite podcasters, and some of them definitely were there, and I will insert a couple of pictures here. I got to meet Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. I also got to meet the ladies of the, why is my mind drawing a blank now? This is why I take notes. This is really sad. Knits and Kids. was a new to me podcaster that I met, and her first name is, I'm drawing a blank on it, but I'm going to link to it right here at the bottom. Yarn, Ladies in the Yarn Café. Yes, they are a mother and daughter team who host a podcast that I watch frequently. So that was enjoyable to be able to actually meet them, and a couple of others. Just very warm, very encouraging. They've been podcasting for a lot longer than I have, so it was really nice to feel welcomed and at the podcaster meetup, and to actually put names to faces. After leaving Maryland Sheep and Wool on Saturday, we got together with some other knitters, and we had dinner at a grill in Columbia, which was really, really good. And a really fun highlight of that is at the end of the dinner, they served cotton candy to the tables. I saw them give it to another table. I was like, oh, that's sweet. They have cotton candy at the end of a meal, but they ordered cotton candy, but the restaurant actually gives it to each table. And it's so funny the way cotton candy brings out the kid in you. I had more than my share, and I dipped my cotton candy in my wine because it was good. It was good. So got a good night's sleep on Saturday, and then Sunday, another event outside of Maryland Sheep and Wool was the Knot House pop-up shop. The Knot House is a yarn store, a local yarn store located in historic Frederick, Maryland. Which is about 20 miles outside of Columbia, where Maryland Sheep and Wool is. It's a considered distance, but it's a beautiful drive. It's an absolutely beautiful drive. You'll see lots of farmland, and it was gorgeous. It was somewhat rain showers, partly cloudy, but again, a beautiful drive. The Knot House is owned by another mother and daughter team, Heather and Kathy. Heather is the daughter, Kathy is the mom. So I got there at the Knot House, and I was able to chat with Kathy for a little while. That's always a treat. And to meet up with some knitters that I knew, and to also meet some folks that I had never met before, and to see their yarns. If you want to know more about the Knot House, I would recommend looking at the Christy Glass Knits May 1st episode, which is called The Knot House. She interviews Kathy and Heather, and you'll get to see pictures of their beautiful yarn store, as well as the story of how they actually decided to open up their business, and I found it to be really, really interesting. But to show you a couple of things that I purchased from the Knot House. One thing I was looking for was a lighter color yarn to make a summer sweater. So this is a new to me dyer here. This is from the Nice and Knit ladies from the Nice and Knit. They're also a sister team, and their names are escaping me right now, but I'm going to put it right down at the bottom of the screen. They also host a podcast, and they do beautiful dye work. And I'm going to tell you what drew me to these skeins. Look at the name. It's not going to show up. Yep. Crab cake. If you don't know, the state of Maryland, especially closer to the Eastern Shore, we are known for our crab cakes. No one does crab cakes like the state of Maryland. And if you go to any state and they say they have Maryland crab cakes, usually it's not the real deal. There is nothing like a genuine, jumbo lump Maryland crab cake. And I'm so glad that the ladies of Nice and Knit said that they got to get a crab cake while they were here, and they said that it exceeded their expectations. So this is the crab cake color, and it is the color that they specially dyed for the pop-up shop. So I'm really happy that I was able to get those. And this is what I'm going to knit with that. I'm going to knit the Millie sweater. One of the ladies actually had it on. Isn't that cute? So I tried to look in the pattern to see if there was a description. I didn't see a description, so what I'm calling this is a boxy kimono sleeve top-down raglan sweater. It just looks so cozy and comfortable. I've always wanted to knit the boxy by Joji Locatelli, but that's a lot of knitting. It's a lot of knitting. It's a lot of yarn. And not that I have an issue with knitting it, but I just think that this is just, for me right now, especially in the summer, for summer knitting, this would be really nice. And this is also one of those sweaters that you could do more than one of. Very nice. I also got to meet the proprietor of Swift Yarns, and I did not put her first name down, but I'm gonna link to it right here at the bottom. One thing that was on my list is yarn for a neon colored sweater. I sewed this neon peplum top last summer, and I really love that top. I love the way neon plays off the color in my skin tones, and it's just fun. I just feel so light and bright and just vibrant when I wear that color. So I thought to myself, how wonderful will it be to actually knit a cardigan in a neon color, but not neon like teenager, I don't know, just something really an elegant neon, a high upscale neon, I don't know. Anyway, this is what I chose for my neon colored sweater. It is a bit brighter than this camera is showing, but oh my goodness, look at how pretty that is. So I got 3 skeins of this. Again, this is from Swift Yarns, and this is the Swift Bliss sock. It's 400 yards of a superwash merino cashmere nylon blend, and it's 400 yards. It's very rare that you find a skein of a cashmere blend that has 400, close to or over 400 yards. So 3 of these would definitely get me a sweater, probably a sleeveless, top-down sleeveless, or some type of a cropped cardigan, which I love to wear with larger oversized shirts. Finally, I was looking for yarn to knit the Joji Locatelli hipster shawl. I'm going to try to insert a picture of the hipster shawl here. So this is what I picked up to knit the Joji Locatelli hipster shawl. This is definitely one of my favorite colors to knit with. This color is called Money Penny. So it's like a reddish copper. It's really pretty. It's a bit more orange than this is showing up. And this base is called the Swift Tweed DK. And it is 85% superwash merino and 10% nep. And the nep are the little blips of color that you see, the little tweedy bits. She actually had this, shawl as a sample in a beautiful like a purpley gray color, and I tried it on and I fell in love with it. The hipster shawl really needs a yarn that's going to be drapey, and I thought I wanted something with some silk, but sometimes if you add in silk it can be a bit too drapey, so I wanted something that would be drapey but still have some structure. And seeing that sample there really solidified that I think this is going to work really, really well. I'm working on another really large shawl right now, so this probably won't get cast on until late summer, fall. But I'm really, really excited about that purchase. I think that is all I have to share with you. It was fun. It was so much fun. There was something really different and special about the festival this year, and I can't really put my hands on it. I don't know. It was just a very relaxed setting, maybe because I'd been there before and I kind of knew what to expect. I wasn't focusing on buying. I was more so focusing on the people, and I definitely got to meet some really beautiful, interesting, fun people. I got to chit chat with Jill Draper in her booth, so that was fun. We kind of, you know, goofed around for a little bit after things had slowed down quite a bit. Yeah, and just to go in and to see booths that I'd never had noticed before, to chit chat with farmers and people who live a totally different lifestyle than I lead. It's so refreshing, and it's such a wonderful change of pace from my usual Monday through Friday hustle and bustle. So that was really, really wonderful. So after a good night's sleep on Saturday, we decided in the afternoon that we would go to a winery. It was actually in Frederick, Maryland. From the Knot House, I guess it took us about another 15 minutes to get to this beautiful winery. The name is escaping me, but I'm going to put it right down here. And so we got to taste some wine. The winery was on some beautiful grounds. Looks like it sits in a valley because there were mountains all around you. And they were very friendly, super friendly. So we did our wine tasting, and then he let us know that he had a, it's a winery and a distillery. And he said that everyone loves their lavender gin. And I just did a wine tasting, so I didn't want to do a spirits tasting on top of the wine tasting. But he said, no, if you just want to go and taste it, he'd be happy to let you try it. So I did get a small bottle of the lavender gin, because it was absolutely outstanding. And he said it would pair well with the lemonade, so I can see a fresh squeezed lemonade with that. Maybe that'll be the Bullock signature summer drink, maybe so. So that's pretty much how the weekend ended. I can't think of a better way to spend a weekend with knitting and with wine. It was just fun, so much fun. If you live in an area where there are fiber festivals or fiber events, I highly encourage you to go. It is a wonderful place to network, to meet people, to be inspired, to just decompress. That's what it was about for me too, just decompressing from the usual hustle and bustle of city life. Like I said, there's shopping for all price points. Bring your families with you, because even if they don't knit, they will enjoy it, even if it's just for the food or the sangria or the items that are already made up that you can purchase. Everything from handbags to sweaters to jewelry. Literally, there is something for everyone at Maryland Sheep and Wool. So if you are from an area far away from Maryland and you decide to come into Maryland Sheep and Wool next year, please let me know. I would love to meet you and show you how to get the best out of the festival, because as I posted to Instagram, the best thing about a fiber festival is hands down the people. It is the people that you meet, and then you get to find out what it is that they specialize in, what their talent is as it relates to the fiber arts. So I think that's all I have to share with you today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will return again very soon with another episode in which I will share with you hopefully some finished objects, if not some works in progress, and we'll get to chat again about why every day spent crafting makes for the best day ever. Thanks again. Bye-bye.